Hello, Watermark family. In response to the July 13th announcement from the governor's office ordering new closures around the state due to the current rise in COVID 19 cases in and around our community, we have made the decision to postpone in person Sunday celebration starting this Sunday and all our summer get togethers. Also, we are unsure actually, of when we might gather together again for in person worship, but we will continue to listen to our health and government officials as we make future decisions. The coronavirus COVID 19 is yet one more reminder that we live in a fallen world of sickness, sin, suffering, and death. Ultimately, none of us are immune to any of these things. But that's why the gospel is such a good news. God has not left us alone in this world of sickness, sin, suffering, and death. He has come to us in the person of Jesus. The greatest news in all of the world is that Jesus lived a life with no sin, died on a cross to pay the price for our sin, and rose from the grave in victory over sin and death. Now, anyone anywhere who turns from their sin and trusts in Jesus will be forgiven of all their sin and restored to a relationship with God forever. That means that through Jesus we never have to fear sickness or death because we know we have eternal life with God. If you do not know God and you do not have eternal life with God, we urge you to put your faith in Jesus. And if you do know that you have eternal life with God, we urge you strongly to share your faith in Jesus with others. Times like this remind us all of the fragility of life and the reality of death. So let's spread the greatest news that death has been defeated and eternal life is available to all who trust in Jesus. In addition to trusting in Jesus and sharing about Jesus with others, here's some other ways that you and I can respond to the coronavirus. Trust in God as the good and sovereign creator and sustainer of life in whom we all depend. Pray for mercy for the sick, strength for the doctors, insight for the researchers and the scientists, and wisdom for our officials. Look for opportunities to love and care for others, whether they are sick, isolated, marginalized, poor, or oppressed. Since we are unable to gather at certain times, stay closely connected to the church family. Gather with small group as appropriate and safe, and participate in worship only if that's the only other option we have. Continue to faithfully give financially, online or by mail, so that the ministry of the church thrives all the more in the midst of difficult days. Reflect often on the brevity of life, the urgency of eternity, and the beauty of the gospel. Sadly, I was informed today just really with much sadness, that one of our member, Zachary McVeigh, who works as a deputy sheriff for the Riverside Sheriff Department, tested positive for COVID-19. He feels awful about putting you all in danger because he loves you all very much. Please pray for him as he quarantines himself for the next 2 weeks. I highly encourage you to get tested for your own peace of mind. Also, please pray for those who already or are about to get tested, that they will test negative for the coronavirus. Let me close with these words from the great hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, which was penned about 100 years ago by a man suffering from poor health who never had much in the way of money or material possessions. But he believed that the verses he based the song on, Jeremiah's Lamentation, chapter 3, verse 22 to 23. It is of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The words of this song are just as true as now as they were then. Great is God's faithfulness, no matter the circumstances. I invite you to pray with me and the rest of the prayer team every morning at 10:02 and at night at 10:02 as well. We need to pray to God for help. We need to ask for wisdom as we navigate through this pandemic. Also, be in prayer for Rich as he delivers the message from God this coming Sunday. May God bless you all. Stay safe.